Now, Jo, if Brexit happens, will the Lib Dems then immediately campaign to rejoin the EU at the earliest available opportunity?
I've not given up stopping Brexit.
No, I know that.
Yeah,
but
I know. And
again, it's a hypothetical.
Yeah, I know. And do you know what? We're in an election where the future relationship with the EU is still under debate. We also have, stopped or delayed Brexit, twice. We were supposed to be out on the 29th of March. We were supposed to be out on the 31st of October, or apparently the country was going to explode. We're still here. We're still members of the European Union. So, for those reasons, right. I feel that I've got, quite a degree of confidence that it's possible to stop Brexit.
I get that you're going to try and stop it. But if there is a majority Conservative government, it's kind of game over, isn't it? So we would leave the political institutions by the 31st of January. And let's, for argument's sake, say that there is some sort of at least temporary trade deal done by the end of the transition period at the end of 2020. Will the position of the Lib Dems be to start a campaign or lead a campaign to get us back in the EU at the earliest available opportunity?
Well, look, Liberal Democrats have always been a pro-European party, and that's not going to change. But let's just sort of paint the picture for a second of what that would mean, because I think there's often a bit of a myth going around that, we'd sometimes get Brexit done and then, you wouldn't need to be asking people about Brexit and you wouldn't switch on the television and see stories about Brexit. If we leave the EU, we're going to be living this Brexit chaos for years to come, because these trade deals aren't quick to negotiate, whether that's with the European Union or whether that's with other countries around the world. These things take years. And the bit that we have already negotiated with the EU is just the very, very, very beginning. It's like, series one of a box set. And, if you don't really like series one very much, you wouldn't necessarily watch all the way through to the rest.
It could be like The Crown and you can get to the end within a few months.
Well, this is not Netflix Brexit, right? So it's not that slick. This is going to be long and drawn out.
I'm slightly puzzled as to why you can't tell me whether you would campaign to go back in as soon as possible.
Well, we're always going to be pro-European. Liberal Democrats are always going to want us to have that relationship as members of the European Union. But all I'm saying is that in the immediacy, you're also going to be having those day-to-day debates in Parliament. There's going to be a need to protect our rights, our regulations that we have on things like workers' rights, on air quality, on other environmental matters. There's going to be fights week in, week out, because we know the vision of some of the people who want us to leave, who are in controlling positions in the Conservative Party, and it's about slashing regulation. It's about kind of creating a sort of, low tax, low regulation economy, and that presents a real danger for ordinary people, going to work where, their rights might well be undermined, and it presents huge dangers for our environment. So there's going to be battles to be fought constantly.
See, one reason why you might be reluctant to say, yes, we would campaign to go back in straight away is because that we would have to adopt the euro, because that is the rules. Anybody joining the EU has to join the euro right from the start.
Well, I think, I've had discussions in Brussels. I certainly think that the best route for us is to stop Brexit, because, of course, if we stop Brexit, then we get to keep the deal that we already have, which has the rebate, it has all of the opt-outs.
I'm moving on beyond that.
But equally, I think there's quite an appetite for change within the EU. So there's lots of different member states who are, looking to change and reform the European Union, and it may well be at a future point that we wanted to rejoin that. Actually, those requirements might not all be there.
Do you recognise at the moment we would have to join the euro if we went back in?
Well, as I say, from the conversations I've had, I wouldn't assume that to be the case.